welcome back to RC Icons. So in this video, the track. Yes, the track. In my recent Avanti 2001 giveaway, I announced my two off-channel goals for the year. One of which is building my new RC Icons track, and the other one is building out the new studio. Now, I must say that everybody is super excited about the track, which I am as well. And some people are excited about the new studio, but I would say the basis or the majority of the comments over the past couple of weeks are, you gonna film the track, or I can't wait to see the track. So yeah, a lot of buzz and excitement about the track. I've done a couple of community posts with pictures of the location getting roughed out, but I wanted to try to put together a quick video of the first couple of days of Caleb and I running equipment and getting the track built. Although I will tell you, it's extremely hard for me to film it because I can't film like 8 hours of me running a machine. You guys will go crazy. I've got one segment of me running the machine for like, I don't know, 10 minutes, and it's the most boring video I've ever watched, right? So it's it's a little bit hard to film the actual construction, at least for the rough out stage. Although we are getting to the point to where we're going to be starting to lay out lanes and doing the actual surface preparation. So I've located the material that I want to use for the track top. The base I don't really care about. It's hard, it drains, that's all it needs to be. But the actual surface of the track, I'll probably get some flack in the comments as far as the surface that I'm choosing. So I don't want a track that's super hard clay, where the tires are not getting bite, where so when you give the car throttle and the tire spins, if it doesn't leave a mark, then that's really not what I'm looking for. So that would be more of a clay-based tire that's got some traction on it, but not a whole lot of traction, because it's more like almost like a carpet where the clay is sticky, and the surface does not break free. So I want a sandy clay that holds its structure, but still will let loose a little bit. As far as when you're coming around a corner, or when you get on the gas and the tires break free a little bit, it'll leave a mark, although enough traction where it's not just spinning in like a sand pit. So very indicative of the vintage tracks, the tracks from the late 80s, early 90s. Everything new age now is carpet or clay. That's not what I'm looking for. That's not what Castle Hill is, to be completely honest. Now, I do have an area, you'll see in the video, I've got the correct shape of Castle Hill. Although when I was describing the lanes in the clip, you'll see that I talked about 4 straightaways, and Castle Hill does not have 4 straightaways. I had just messed up on the layout. Although the shape that I have roughed out is the exact shape and size of Castle Hill. So to get the lanes in, like Castle Hill, will not be a problem. I do like Castle Hill's layout because I feel like it's not a very, I don't want to say that it's not technical, because it is, but it's not crazy technical like a lot of today's tracks are. I want some long straights. I want the track to be somewhat simple to navigate, for a couple of reasons. A, I'm not a stellar driver, but B, the people that will be running this track are not racers. So like my kids and my family and my friends, if they want to come over and run the track, I've got people in the neighborhood that are into newer age RC, 1/10 scale stuff, 12th scale stuff. I want them to be able to use this track as well, and I want them to be able to do it in a way that's manageable for them and it's not too difficult. So that's kind of the whole reason why I'm going after the Castle Hill layout. I love Castle Hill itself and the history behind it, but I think the layout is more indicative to that old school track design, as well as being more forgiving to people that aren't true racers all the time. So I'm going to cut short now, and we'll get to some of the footage of the track being built, as well as 2 clips, one after the first day and one after the second day, kind of just summarizing where we're at in the process. And then I'll come back for a quick closing, but the next video will be more on lane layout and then starting to get the actual track surface in place. So I'll see you a couple of minutes for a closing. So I got rained out yesterday afternoon, but essentially this is my front yard, which was gonna get redone anyway. So on day one, we had a couple of stumps, 2 big pine trees that I had taken down years ago. So you saw me go to pull those things and they were buried. The trees were buried when the house was built, like 4 feet up from the actual stump base. That's why they were so hard to pull. Usually my machine will just yard those right out, but when they're buried 4 feet up, you're basically trying to pull a rooted tooth. So this is my front woods. I've got probably 2 acres that abuts one road. I'm a corner lot, and the land kind of slopes down. So I need to do essentially a cut and a fill here to try to make a level spot for the track. But all of this was woods yesterday. You saw me come crashing through. We have a little 4-wheeler trail that used to run through here. And that's where I had Caleb standing with the camera. But yesterday, so this area that's cleared now is at least 50 to 60 feet wide and probably 80 feet long. So all the trees came down, all the stumps came out, everything got grubbed out. I dug a huge hole down in this lower corner. Got everything buried down in the hole, rocks, stumps, trees, everything went in the hole. And then this is the spoils from the hole that I used to try to basically level the area out. I need to get a level spot, not only for the track. I don't care if there's some slope to the track, but I need a level working area. So now you can see I still have tons of woods. This is all my land, right? So I can make this thing as big as I want. I've got a pretty severe slope up here, and then on the other side of it is my lawn and then my swimming pool. My wife wants me to leave a buffer, so that's fine. Like right now, if I was standing at the pool, you wouldn't be able to see the track. Not that it's an eyesore, but it's just not typical in our neighborhood, right? So got some really nice trees. That right there is probably a 24-inch oak. And then this one here, this is a dual stem. It's probably 24. Of course, I rubbed it with my counterweight. I hate it when I do that, but so this kind of comes up a little bit, and it's a beautiful 24 dual split oak. And what I'll probably do is take a couple of trees down on the backside and run the track around the tree and leave that tree standing in the middle of the track. I am contemplating taking down these 2 big bull pine. That first one's probably 36-inch, and it's massive. And the one behind it is at least a 30. And then I got one right there that's probably a 40. So there is some fairly large timber in here. So yeah, I'm contemplating taking those down. The only problem is if I take them down, that's a lot of wood to deal with. So yeah, we'll have to see. I may just have the track come around this oak tree and stay inside that edge. I think I'll still have plenty of room. So that was day one. I'm gonna grease the machine. I'm gonna fuel it, get it warmed up. Not that it needs to be warmed up this time of year. And give it hell. So I bought this machine, for those of you that are in construction, this is a Daewoo 225 LCV Solaire. It's a 2007 machine that I bought 5 years ago. It's got 5,000 hours on it, 6,000 hours on it. It does have a ton of power. It's a strong machine, but being 16 years old, it's got its issues. I did put a new undercarriage on it 2 years ago. New chains, new sprockets, all new track rollers, and then reused the pads. Those of you that are in the business know what I'm talking about, and that's an expensive endeavor. But the machine itself is actually pretty tight. When I bought the machine, it had a trenching bucket on it. It was only like 24 inches wide. So this bucket here came off a PC, what was it, a PC 260? So that measures 46 inches across. So it's a good sized bucket. I had a hard time finding pins, or actually the original pins. Those are the original pins off the trenching bucket. And I ended up having to make a bunch of spacers and sleeves because I didn't feel like spending $600 on pins. It's nothing cheap with equipment. So yeah, let's we'll get this thing cold started here. Let it warm up while we get some grease and fuel in it. It was pouring yesterday when I left. That's it. She's a runner. I'll see you guys in a little bit. We'll keep going at it. Alright, so we're at the beginning of day 2 here. We showed you in the last video how we came across the lawn and broke through the woods here down to the location of the track. I feel bad. It is a Sunday, and I had to bring in one of my best operators just to run one of my machines for me because I can't be in 2 at once. And I want to try to get this stump and grub finished, and I want to try to get it cut down so that we can start marking out the track itself. So I had to bring in my 6-ton machine. It's a Kubota KX 057-4, 12,000 pound unit. I've got a hammer and a finish bucket, 2 different digging buckets, twister wrist for this machine. And she's a hard worker. I bought it from one of my buddies who owns an equipment rental house. So let me introduce you to one of my best operators. Yeah, that's right. That's my 12-year-old son, Caleb. He's been running a machine since he was 5. And he does a hell of a job. So he's basically taking all the grub, and I dug another massive hole down here in the corner, and as I'm grubbing out the high side of the track, I'm bringing it over to him, and he's dumping it into the hole on the low side of the track. So I figured we'd put him to work for the day. Once this is a pretty high slope over here, you can't really see it because of the camera, but this jets up almost 6 feet. The driver's stand is going to be up there. It's kind of a natural landing for the driver's stand. It's going to work out perfect. But I want to cut part of this bank out all the way around this high side and use it for the fill on the low side. So when we do that, we're going to have to put some stone wall or whatever up to help support that slope. It's going to be a little bit, we're probably going to have to put some stairs in or something to be able to get down onto the track from this high plateau. See how much higher the house sits from where we are. So my scope of work, I'm going to be working around, this is that tree we talked about leaving, and it's actually going to work out perfect. I'm going to take out a little bit more of this small underbrush here. All of this leaf thatch and everything, loam that's in the woods needs to come out. This pine's coming down along with the 2 scrubs on the other side, and we're going to leave the oak in the back, that one there. That's the far side of the track. So essentially the track's going to be coming down through the woods here. We're going to take out this maple right in front of me. That'll become firewood, and the track is going to actually go around the back side of these 2 twin oaks. Those are the ones I was talking about in the last video that I didn't know if I wanted to take down or not. And I'm not going to take them down. I'm actually going to bring the track around the back side. And then it's going to continue in the woods on the back side of those piles. I'll put up a track layout of Castle Hill, an aerial view of it. And I've done the measurements and everything. It looks like it's going to work out perfect. So time for me to get in the machine and get some work done, just burning daylight here. 12 years old.
He backfills foundations for me. Probably shouldn't say that on camera. Sorry, OSHA. All right, I'll give you an update here in a bit. I'm gonna get in and get swinging. All right, so this is the end of day 2. Caleb is wiped. So in the last segment, I was talking about this slope over here and how this was a natural driver's stand. Well, I've got that cut down now. And as I have the camera at eye level. So that slope is literally, I'm 6'3". So I cut essentially 6 foot out of this bank that I'm gonna use the rock to build back up. And I've got it cut all the way around. I still have this little section here to cut out behind the machine. But you can see where grade is, it's at my eyes. So this was a pretty substantial cut and fill on this side all the way around. So we took the cut from this side and we brought it to the lower side. So those of you that know Castle Hill, the driver's stand is right where mine is. And then the starting lane is right up against it. So you've got a long straight. And then you've got a long winding turn to the back side of the track. So we've got that long straight and we've got that long winding turn coming around here. And then there's a long back straight. So we're going through that double oak that I showed in the first video. We're gonna come down this long back straight and then we're gonna go into a double hairpin. So it's gonna hairpin around right here and it's gonna go straight back to the oak. And then it's gonna hairpin again. And it's gonna run the tree line back. There's another medium-sized straight. And then it hairpins again. And we're gonna run right up the side of the tree line, long straight with a couple of kickers. And then it hairpins again inside the first lane, carries back long straight, couple of kickers, sweeping right hand corner to that long start straight. So we've got it roughed out and it's gonna work. The turns and stuff may not be exactly the same dimension, but I figure we should be able to get 8 foot lane through this whole thing. The reason I chose Castle Hill is because it's got 4 long straights in it with kickers. More characteristic of a vintage track. That's what I like. I don't like tracks like today where it's just constant turns and technical driving. I am not a racer. I didn't grow up a racer. I'm not a technical driver. I want to be able to have fun. And Castle Hill looks fun with 4 long straights. Couple of hairpins to make it challenging, some kickers in the middle of the straights, and I'm good. I'm going to be happy. So that's the end of day 2. That's a lot of machining right there. So the stump piles are below the track 6 feet right now. This is all filled in 6 feet, this whole side. So you can see how much the ground is sloped away and then sloped up. So we literally took an area that was just a hard slope and we made it flat. But we made it flat in a way that we can get our lanes in. So all the rock I kicked off to the side. It's probably not enough, but as I build that wall in, I'm gonna pull that slope down into the wall, flatten it out, and then I'll build a stand on top of it if necessary. Right now, that bank is 6 foot higher than the track. And you can see everything from up there. If I pull it down to 4 feet higher than the track, then I'll build something 2 feet with a railing. But that's essentially the space. Roughed out 2 days, thanks to Caleb. All tracked down nice and hard. So at this point, we're ready to start figuring out our lanes. And then I got to get a couple truckloads of clay, and we'll start actually building the upper surface of the track. There's Sophie coming down to see me. Hi, Soph. Hi, girl. She wants to see what's going on too. She won't come down here if the machines are running. Hi, girl. Are we building a track, girl? We are? Are we building a track? Yeah, we are. I got a tuxedo cat and a tuxedo dog. People are going to be saying in the comments, there's no way that tree's going to live. Well, I can tell you right now, that tree's going to live. That thing is absolutely healthy. And I didn't break any roots. That's like an 8-foot, 9-foot ball right there. And I can tell you that that thing's deeply rooted. It's not going anywhere. It'll be fine. So I'm going to loam in the bank, and I plan on grassing in between the lanes, just like Castle Hill. Should be pretty cool when it's done. It's going to be a gorgeous track. My wife is excited because she's a real estate broker and I'm a builder. And this is a subdividable lot away from our house. So she's like, hey, listen, when you're done with the track, we'll just bulldoze it over and build a house down there. I said, yeah, sure. See you in 10 years. That's it for today. I'm going inside. Later.
So that's going to do it for this episode of RC Icons. I hope you guys enjoyed the glimpse of the beginning of the track. Now that it's roughed out, I just need to start marking lanes, getting the top surface in as far as to my house and then down to the site. So all of that's going to need to be skid steered across the lawn and down into the woods. There's no way to get a triaxle straight to the site. So I don't want to put a road in to the road, so to speak, because I want it to be kind of like a little oasis in the woods. So it's going to be a little bit of work to get the material down there, but that's kind of the next step. Marking the lanes, getting the material in, starting to get the bumpers in place. I will most likely use the 4-inch NDS or ADS drainage tile that most people use. So yeah, the second video will be kind of that, marking lanes and then, continuing on. I'm not sure if I'll show building the rock wall or not. I don't know how involved you guys want me to get, but I figured based off of the feedback on the Avanti video that I should at least film some of it to show you guys. So I hope you enjoyed it. Running an excavator, to people that don't do it, it's probably fun, but if you do it all the time, it's just work. So it was nice to have Caleb down there with me working side by side. I always cherish those moments. He's come such a long way, being only 12. As far as an operator, I can just give him a task and he can just go at it. So that's a huge benefit. But so yeah, you'll have to let me know in the comments what you think so far. I apologize, I'm sweating like crazy. It's hot. And I can't have the air conditioning running if I'm filming. So it is what it is. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you think. If you're not already subscribed, I'd ask you to consider subscribing to support the channel. Another way you can do that is by leaving a like click or a dislike click. It's up to you. But until the next video, it'll probably be in a couple of weeks because I'm fairly busy over the next 2 weeks. I don't know that I'll have time to get down there to actually do work, but keep your eyes open. A couple of weeks from now, we should have a track build part 2. Until then, we'll see you soon. Thanks.